Let me tell you a hard truth. Most of the people who stay poor are the ones with the softest hearts, the kind ones, the humble ones, the good ones. You've seen it, haven't you? The dishonest seem to prosper, the greedy often rise. And yet the kind souls, they struggle, they overgive, they barely get by. And they pray, and they hope, and they say things like, "As long as I have love, I don't need money." But darling, where did you learn that lie? Who taught you that money and morality were enemies? Because that's the first poverty spell they cast on you, to make you feel guilty for wanting more, to shame you for dreaming of wealth, to tie your divinity to deprivation. But hear me clearly now. Goodness does not require your struggle. Holiness does not mean you must be hungry. There is no virtue in poverty unless you believe in it. The universe is not rewarding your sacrifice. It is mirroring your belief. You can be kind and rich. You can be generous and wildly abundant. You can serve the world without living on crumbs. Say this with me now. I release the lie that poverty is noble. Again, I release the lie that poverty is noble. Comment this truth 2 times below. I can be good and I can be rich. Again, I can be good and I can be rich. You were not born to struggle. You were born to overflow. Let me ask you something, dear one. Have you ever felt ashamed for wanting more? Have you ever caught yourself whispering prayers for money, then quickly apologizing to God for being selfish? That's not your truth speaking, that's your programming. You were taught that wealth was dangerous, that money changed people, that wanting more meant you weren't grateful for what you had. But let me tell you the secret the world never wants you to see. Poverty can feel safe. It can feel familiar. It can even feel holy to the powerless. You see, and you've been small for too long, you begin to confuse powerlessness with purity. You start thinking that staying invisible is humility. You wear your suffering like a badge of honor. But that isn't spirit. That is survival. That's the subconscious trap. It keeps good people broke by making them believe that to have more is to become less good. But the real truth, when you heal, when you command, when you rise, you don't become corrupt, you become unstoppable. Dark psychology teaches that repetition becomes identity. If you've heard money is evil enough times, you will push it away, even when you beg for it. But spirit sees through all lies. And today, so will you. Say it with me now. Poverty is not my protector. My power is. And once more, poverty is not my protector. My power is. Comment this declaration 2 times. I do not owe the world my struggle. I embody my power. Again, I do not owe the world my struggle. I embody my power. It's time to wake up from the holy poverty lie. Your throne has been waiting. Now we rise from silence into strength. No more begging, no more hoping. This is where the bold meet their blessings. You've been told to be nice, to be quiet, to wait your turn. But let me tell you the secret that changed everything for me. Money comes to the bold. It does not come to the timid. It does not come to the silent. It does not come to the almost ready. The universe favors the one who speaks with authority, the one who acts as if, the one who expects. You see, the laws of this universe are spiritual, but they are not passive. They are activated by intention, energy, and unshakable identity. And let's be clear, I'm not speaking of aggression in the worldly sense. I'm talking about spiritual aggression. The holy fire that rises in your gut and says, "This is mine. I claim it. I no longer beg for crumbs from a feast that belongs to me." This is what I call righteous command. This is what calls in wealth, not want, not worry, not worthiness debates, just certainty. Dark psychology teaches the bold are perceived as leaders, even when they're wrong. and the timid are often dismissed, even when they're right. Now imagine the force of that truth when merged with divine alignment. When you speak with fire and faith, nothing can resist you. Say this now: I no longer wait. I command with love and spiritual fire. Again, I no longer wait. I command with love and spiritual fire. Comment this truth 2 times to anchor it in your being. My voice is a wand. I speak with spiritual fire. Again, my voice is a wand. I speak with spiritual fire. Stop asking for permission to prosper. The throne is already yours. Now we walk into the shadows, where guilt hides behind good intentions and quietly blocks the blessing. I want you to breathe for a moment. Let's tell the truth, just you and me. Have you ever received money and felt uncomfortable? Like you didn't deserve it? Like it came too easily? Have you ever undercharged, overworked, or given everything for free because asking for more made you feel selfish? That is not humility. That is guilt. And guilt is a trickster. It wears the mask of virtue. It whispers, "Who am I to have more than others?" It says, "If I receive too much, someone else will have less." But darling, guilt is not divine. It is psychological residue from a life where you were taught that being small made you safe, that being poor made you pure, that being nice meant you never ask for more. This is dark psychology at its deepest. Because guilt is not based on reality, it's based on identity distortion. You start to believe that abundance and goodness can't live in the same body. But I say this with fire in my voice. They must. The more money in the hands of the kind, the more the world heals. You are not selfish for desiring wealth. You are strategic. You are divinely dangerous to darkness. Say it with me now. I release the guilt that blocks my good. Again, I release the guilt that blocks my good. Comment this liberation mantra 2 times to cleanse the shadow. There is no guilt in receiving what is divinely mine. Again, there is no guilt in receiving what is divinely mine. The more you receive, the more you give. And guilt has no place in your next miracle. Take a breath. You've done the inner work. You've exposed the guilt, the fear, the programming. Now it's time to speak your truth. Not just repeat it. Become it. This is your first affirmation activation, a spiritual decree that magnetizes wealth into your field. Say it now, with your shoulders back and your chest open. I am a radiant channel for divine riches. Again, stronger. I am a radiant channel for divine riches. Let the words flow through you like light. This is not a request, it is a recognition. You were always the channel, but you've been damned by doubt, stopped by shame, blocked by beliefs that were never yours to begin with. But when you speak this phrase, you open the gate. You tell infinite supply, I'm ready, not someday, now. And here's what's magnetic about this phrase. It combines identity, I am, vibration, radiant, and divine alignment, channel for riches. It isn't about chasing money. It's about becoming the portal through which divine abundance flows, to you and through you. Dark psychology says, when someone owns their power fully, people don't just listen, they follow. This is what happens when your energy matches your word. Now, comment this sacred phrase 2 times below to claim it. I am a radiant channel for divine riches. Again, I am a radiant channel for divine riches. You are not separate from the supply. You are the supply, walking, speaking, shining. Let us now break the final illusion that your wealth is selfish, because the truth is, Your abundance is your assignment. Let's set the record straight. You were not sent here to struggle. You were sent to circulate, to receive, and to multiply the light. And when you become wealthy, aligned, joyful, and full, the entire world benefits. So let's speak this together now. My wealth is a blessing to the world. Again, more rooted, more real. My wealth is a blessing to the world. Let that truth land in your heart. Because for too long, the good souls of this earth have dimmed their light, have refused their reward, have believed the lie that wealth corrupts. But wealth does not create character. It reveals it. When the right person becomes rich, the world becomes better. You donate, you build, you uplift, you inspire, you circulate opportunities, you heal bloodlines and open doors for others. There is nothing selfish about having more when your soul is generous and your intentions are divine. Dark psychology tells us that guilt is inherited, that if your family struggled, you must too, that if your community lacks, you are betraying them by rising. But I tell you this, you don't betray your people by becoming wealthy. You bless them, you break the pattern, you become the proof. Say it once more. My wealth is a blessing to the world. Now comment it boldly 2 times below. My wealth is a blessing to the world. Again, my wealth is a blessing to the world. You are not just allowed to be rich, you are called to be. Dear one, we make the most sacred shift of all. From servant to sovereign, from hopeful to appointed. You were not meant to live in constant service while others feast at the table of wealth. You were not sent here to survive. You were sent here to rule, but not with control, not with ego, with divine sovereignty. Let me ask you, why is it that the kindest people, those with healing hands, wise hearts, and humble souls, often live in lack, while those with ruthless ambition seem to gain everything? Because the servant mindset says, as long as I help others, I don't need much. But the sovereign mindset says, the more I receive, the more I can give. The more I am, the more I elevate others. You see, the servant waits to be rewarded. The sovereign claims their compensation. Dark psychology teaches this hard truth. Systems reward those who act like they already belong. The ones who walk into the room like they own it, even if they don't. Now imagine combining that boldness with pure-hearted purpose. That is when miracles move fast. That is when heaven gets behind you. Because Spirit does not want you begging. It wants you becoming. Say this now. I am no longer a servant of lack. I am a sovereign of divine supply. Again, I am no longer a servant of lack. I am a sovereign of divine supply. Comment this royal truth 2 times to declare it. I claim my divine compensation without guilt or delay. Again, I claim my divine compensation without guilt or delay. The throne is not empty. It is waiting for you. Now finish this journey as we began it. Not with fear, but with fire. Not in need, but in knowing. You were never meant to struggle. You were always meant to shine. I want you to close your eyes, just for a moment. Picture the version of you who never doubted, who never apologized for wanting more, who never felt guilty for receiving. Does that version of you look like? They walk with ease, they speak with clarity, they attract without chasing, they receive without shame. This version of you is not a fantasy. It is your truest self, beneath the lies, beneath the pain, beneath the programming. You were never meant to struggle. That was the conditioning. That was the inheritance of fear. But struggle is not your spiritual truth. Shining is. And when you shine, you give others permission to rise with you. When you prosper, you prove what's possible. When you walk in divine wealth, You become a living affirmation of what God can do through a soul who fully remembers who they are. Let's speak the final decree together. Say this: I was not born to struggle, I was born to shine. Again, stronger now. I was not born to struggle, I was born to shine. Comment this sacred decree 2 times to seal your new reality. I was born to shine. I claim my divine abundance now. Again, I was born to shine. I claim my divine abundance now. This is your new timeline. No more hoping, no more hiding. Your wealth is not a dream. It is your divine destiny. And it begins now. Until next time, remember, your word is your wand. Speak wisely, and miracles must obey. Florence Scovel Shinn.